Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Indeed, Mingxirin felt the vitality energy flowing out. Hence, he tried to exert force on the energy rings. As expected, the golden radiant rings slid up from the golden lotus and moved toward the avatar's waist. When they moved up, the avatar grew taller. The golden lotus enlarged as well. An empty space between the 8 golden leaves. When the energy ring shot back toward the outermost region of the golden lotus, there was a crisp sound. Mingxirin could clearly see the 9th lift sprouting from the inner side of the golden lotus. The 9th leaf had taken form. In the air, there were flocks of flying beasts. Many beasts on the ground appeared around Golden Court Mountain as well. The others were delighted. The huge beast is here. The 4 elders looked up at the same time. Mingxirin had already completed the sprouting of the 9th leaf, so Zhou stopped looking at him. He pushed away from the ground and shot into the sky. From up high, he saw the huge beast leading a flock of smaller beasts. Due to the distance, he could not tell what kind of huge beast it was. They flew over the forest and the mountain peaks. Golden Court Mountain was isolated to begin with. Where did these beasts come from? The 4 great forests? Moonlight Woodland was deep in the misty forest. Deep within Moonlight Woodland was a bottomless abyss. Yi Tianxin had seen countless beasts in the abyss and had obtained the fair folk's inheritance there. Are these beasts from the Moonlight Woodland? His host, Ji Tiandao, had been to the 4 great forests before but not the deeper parts of Moonlight Woodland. It was too easy to lose one's direction there. It was a sure way to seek death. Zhou stroked his beard and waited as looked at the incoming flock of flying beasts. At this moment, Wuya exclaimed, "It's a Fei bird." Fei? Zhou repeated. Wuya explained, "It's recorded in one of the books in the Western Pavilion. This bird fights physically and is very fierce." Ever since the appearance of the beasts, Wuya had pored over the books about beasts in the Western Pavilion and even those in the divine capital's imperial city. Therefore, he was rather knowledgeable. Does it have a heart? Zhou asked. Every animal has a heart. However, this beast is mostly brawn. I don't think it's capable of forming a heart of life. I'm still searching for a concrete way to categorize them. Zhou nodded. He was glad that he had a disciple like Wuya who saved him a lot of trouble. As a transmigrator, he had been tormented by books in the past. He would hardly take a look at books. Without a heart of life, there was no benefit in fighting the beast. It would even be a loss if he had to use a deadly strike card. He muttered to himself for a moment before he rose even higher in the air. Whiz! The 9-leaf golden lotus avatar looked down proudly from the sky. With the evil sky pavilion in the center, his 150-foot avatar expanded. The golden flaming golden lotus released energy halos into the surroundings. Then, it shrank and dissipated. Zhou looked in the direction from which Fei was coming. His display of avatar made the other winged beasts retreat. As he expected, Fei turned around and flew away. It disappeared in an instant. It was as silent as a graveyard at the bottom of the evil sky pavilion. The others looked at Zhou with fearful respect. Meanwhile, the 4 elders and Hua Yuesheng were filled with envy. They would never grow sick of looking at the golden flaming avatar. Mingxirin stood up. Hey, I'm a 9-leaf cultivator. I became a 9-leaf cultivator. Nobody entertained him. They were still in awe of the golden flaming avatar. Little junior sister, would you like to look at my 9-leaf avatar? Naturally, Mingxirin was reveling in his delight from successfully breaking through to the 9-leaf stage. Conch ignored him. She did not seem impressed. She pointed at their master in the sky and said, "Golden flames." With these 2 words, Mingxirin seemed to wilt. Zhou landed. The others bowed. Mingxirin cleared his disappointment away. Then, he bowed and said, "Master, I'm fortunate enough that I didn't let you down. I'm now successfully become a 9-leaf cultivator. Lu Zhou nodded in satisfaction. Very good. You're now a 9-leaf cultivator, but why don't you look happy? No, no, no. That's not it. I'm just feeling sad about you leaving, master. Mingxian raised his sleeve and wiped away a drop of tear. The other members of the Evil Sky Pavilion were speechless. How fake. Not to be outdone, Zhu Honggong stepped forward and exclaimed in shock, Master, you're leaving? Lu Zhou looked at the others as he said. There's now another 9-leaf cultivator in Great Yen. I believe that more 9-leaf cultivators will emerge soon enough. We can fend off beasts, but the hearts of men are what we should fear. With a 9-leaf cultivator here, we can prevent the Red Lotus domain from invading. The others nodded. Lu Zhou looked at Mingxian and said, it's only a matter of time before the Red Lotus domain invades the Golden Lotus domain. I'm going to the Red Lotus domain mainly to retrieve your eldest and second senior brother. My other objective is to get to the bottom of Konk's origins. Also, I want to prevent the Red Lotus domain from continuing their invasion. Apart from that, he had another objective as well. He wanted to search for the other half of his memory crystal and learn about the void seeds, among others. You're now a 9-leaf cultivator. Look after Great Yen. I won't let you down, master. Mingxian fell to one knee. At this moment, the others looked at Mingxian. Before they knew it, Mingxian had become the strongest person in the Evil Sky Pavilion. Lu Zhou continued, you've just reached the 9-leaf stage. Your vitality energy will flow out soon to restore your life. Give me your hand. Mingxian nodded and extended his hand. Lu Zhou placed 2 fingers on Mingxian's wrist. After examining Mingxian, he was puzzled. Shu Xi's heart provided 800 years of life. If the Golden Lotus needed more than 1,200 years of life, Mingxian would need to make up for more than 500 years with his own lifespan. However, it seemed like Mingxian had only used up 400 years. With this, he speculated the years of life the Golden Lotus absorbed were not fixed. They ranged around 1,200 years. Reaching the 9-leaf stage will grant you 200 years of life. From the 1-leaf stage to the 8-leaf stage, you'll gain 50 years at every stage. In total, you're given 600 years of life, Lu Zhou said. Mingxian was overjoyed. Thank you for your teaching, master. Thank the heavens. If I have to put up with this old appearance, I'd have a mental breakdown. I never knew that reaching the 9-leaf stage with the Golden Lotus has this benefit, Duanmu Sheng said enviously. Si Wuya shook his head. Not exactly. After reaching the 9-leaf stage, the Great Limit is no longer applicable. Since the beasts will drop hearts of life, those who severed their lotuses could hunt beasts to replenish their lives. There's not much of a difference between the two. It was more difficult to reach the 9-leaf stage with a golden lotus, and it was only natural for there to be some benefits. After severing the lotus, it was much easier to reach the 9-leaf stage, and it was only natural for cultivators to have to pay a higher price. Lu Zhou flipped his palm. The separation hook appeared in his palm, and he sent it toward Mingxian. I'm giving you the desolate grade separation hook. I hope that you'll put it to good use. The instant Mingxian caught the separation hook, he sensed the changes in his weapon. He prostrated himself and worshipped his master as he said, "Thank you for the desolate grade weapon, master." The others were so envious that their eyes nearly popped out from their sockets. Lu Zhou had 3 more shining stones. Upgrading a weapon would reward him with 1,000 merit points. Therefore, he would gladly upgrade weapons. Before he had to leave, he was thinking about who to use it on to obtain the greatest value. He decided to use it to increase his disciples' strengths. You should go and stabilize your golden lotus now, Lu Zhou said. Understood. The others cupped their fists at Mingxian. Congratulations, 4th junior brother. Congratulations, 4th senior brother. Congratulations, Mr. 4th. Mingxian cleared his throat and puffed his chest as he said, "There's no need to be so formal. I'm still an easygoing person. If any of you wish to see a 9-leaf avatar, all you have to do is tell me." By the way, did you manage to take a good look earlier? Should I manifest it again? Zhou frowned. Impudence. Usually, he did not have to worry about his fourth disciple. However, it seemed like his fourth disciples had already forgotten his place after his breakthrough. I'll return at once. Mingxian scurried back into his room. Si Wuya bowed and asked, Master, when are you planning to leave? Zhou answered as he stroked his beard, after 3 days. In that case, I'll check on the sky chariot. Zhou looked at the others again. Is Evil Sky Pavilion strong enough? He felt their strength was far from sufficient. If a karmic fire elite such as Fa Kong were to appear, it would be difficult for them to deal with such a person. Fortunately, Si Wuya and Mingxian were here to look after things. They would not be so dumb as to go head-on with such an elite. As for the others, Panzhong, Zhou said. Yes, Pavilion Master. Panzhong stepped forward. I'll give you Life Cutter. I hope that you'll put it to good use. Zhou waved his sleeve. Life Cutter appeared in his hand and shot toward Panzhong. Panzhong trembled. His eyes widened as he fell to his knees. He said excitedly, Panzhong thanks the Pavilion Master for the gift of a heaven-grade weapon. After receiving Life Cutter, he let it drink his blood to claim ownership over it. He was greatly moved by this bona fide heaven-grade weapon. Ding! Life Cutter has acknowledged its owner. Reward, 1,000 merit points. Zhou Jifeng. I'm giving you High Void. I hope that you'll put it to good use. Zhou waved his sleeve again. High Void. That's a super heaven-grade weapon. The instant Zhou Jifeng was called, he felt as though he was electrocuted. He stepped forward and fell to his knees. He raised both hands and said, Thank you for the heaven-grade weapon, Pavilion Master. High Void is actually a heaven-grade weapon. I've already destroyed the red runes, and it's no longer a super heaven-grade weapon. You shouldn't compare amongst yourselves, Zhou said. There were many who would go all out just to get their hands on a heaven-grade weapon. Countless cultivators would have loved to possess a heaven-grade weapon, but they could not. Although Zhou Jifeng and Panzhong envied the 10 disciples of the Evil Sky Pavilion, that was all they could do. They did not dare to hope to possess weapons like the disciples. The closest they had come into contact with such weapons was when they entered the imperial family's inner warehouse when the divine capital was conquered. However, with so many weapons in the Evil Sky Pavilion, was there a need to take the weapons in the inner warehouse? Owning a heaven-grade weapon was something worthy of celebration itself. They would not dare compare among themselves. Zhou Jifeng received High Void respectfully. He was so filled with emotions that it took a lot of effort for him to string a coherent sentence together. Thank you, Pavilion Master. I will surely dedicate my life to the Evil Sky Pavilion and sacrifice my life if I have to. Their loyalties went up by 10% each. With this, the loyalties of the younger members were basically above 80%. Zhou looked at the 4 members of the Old Age Pavilion. The others followed his gaze. What's gotten into the Pavilion Master today? Why is he giving away weapons? Lang Luo, Zhou said. Lang Luo was not as expressive as the younger ones. Throughout his life, he had owned weapons of his own. This was also attributed to him cultivating Dao invisibility. Often, when he felt that he could not defeat his opponent, he would choose to flee. His rich experience and wide knowledge resulted in his personality that was seldom affected by anything. Zhou looked at his remaining weapons. Unnamed, Jade Horsetail Whisk, Spotless Blade, Magistrate Brush, and 9-string Zither. Naturally, he could not give Unnamed away. It was one of his trump cards. This was also the only weapon that grew stronger as his cultivation base improved. Moreover, it was enhanced by the black runes. The impregnable sky shuttle was as brittle as a thin piece of paper before it. The Jade Horsetail Whisk was used by both the Buddhist and Taoist sections. Knowing Lang Luo, he would not accept this. What about Spotless Blade? The Magistrate Brush was best used by someone from the Confucian school. It could work wonders as it wrote scripts and formed script seals. 9-string zither? From the letter Jiang Wenxiu left behind, this weapon most likely belonged to the Luo woman, or Luo Shireen. However, this weapon was more suited for his 10th disciple, Conk. Lu Zhou once suspected that Conk was Luo Shireen since she shared similarities with her. It also explained her awakening state. However, her longevity was completely untouched. The imperial tutor, Jiang Wenxiu, refuted that as well. Moreover, Lang Luo was not someone who would play the zither. By the process of elimination, the spotless blade was all that was left. I'll give you the spotless blade. I hope that you'll put it to good use. He waved his sleeve again. The spotless blade flew into Lang Luo's hand. Super heaven grade, spotless blade. Pan Litian looked at it enviously. Thank you for the gift of the super heaven grade spotless blade, Pavilion Master. When Lang Luo lifted the spotless blade, he could not help but feel excited despite his years of experience and knowledge. The others from the Evil Sky Pavilion had no opinions about this. It was only natural for the elders of the Evil Sky Pavilion to possess super heaven grade weapons. Zhou Jifeng and Lang Luo let their weapons drink their blood. Lu Zhou was rewarded with 2,000 merit points. Then, he stroked his beard and said, if there's nothing else, we'll call it a day. After he finished speaking, he left with his hands on his back. The others bowed. Hua Wudao raised his arm weakly, swallowing the words on the tip of his tongue. What about me? Are there no more weapons? He sighed. He had no choice but to accept this reality. Pan Litian walked to Lang Luo and said with a hint of jealousy, you're lucky. You got a super heaven grade weapon out of now. I feel pressured now. Lang Luo retorted, haven't you always felt pressured? I have my wine gourd bottle, why would I feel pressured? The Pavilion Master sure is looking out for you, Pan Litian said. The other elders possess weapons of their own. It's understandable that the Pavilion Master chose to give me the spotless blade. Nearby, Zhuayushu held her coiling dragon staff. Similar to Pan Litian, even if she were given another weapon, she might not accept it. Hua Wudao was the only one who was sighing outside the southern pavilion. After returning to his room, Lu Zhou called up the system dashboard and checked his remaining merit points and longevity. Merit points, 12,040. Remaining life, 218,985 days. Item, Deadly Strike card X2, Critical Block card X138, Passive, Binding Cage card X5, Wizard, Bian, Jiliang, Qiangqi, Disguise card X2, Golden Taishu Mirror, Appearance Alteration card X3, Shining Stone X3, Reversal card X28. Weapon, Unnamed, Jade Horsetail Whisk, Magistrate Brush, 9-string zither. With his 9-leaf cultivation base, these items certainly seemed unpresentable compared to before. A problem occurred to Lu Zhou. The mount he obtained from the lucky draw had been brought to him by the system's power. When it came to Jiliang, it had to travel to him on its own. After that, in regard to Qiangqi, he had to personally tame it. When traveling to the Red Lotus domain, how was he going to bring his mounts with him? Indeed, this was a problem. Unfortunately, there was nothing from the system. It was not very intelligent as well. It could not answer his questions. I'll just try and summon them from the other side when the time comes. It was useless for him to think about such matters at the moment. He was better off thinking about accumulating more things he could use to his advantage while dealing with the Red Lotus domain. Lu Zhou noticed that he had disguise cards among his items. Now that he was a 9-leaf cultivator, why would he need to disguise himself? He extended his right hand. A disguise card appeared in his hand. This time, a message popped up on the interface. May disguise the color of the avatar. Color? Realization dawned on Lu Zhou. You're worried that I'd be ganged up on when they find out that I'm a foreigner? Useless card. It can't even compare with the appearance alteration card. There were not many usable item cards left. The Thunderblast card had always been useful since he could often use it to intimidate others. It was priced at 5,000 merit points. Purchase 1. He purchased another Thunderblast card just in case. He was left with 7,040 merit points. Zhou thought about trying the lucky draws. However, when he looked at his 100 luck points, he shook his head. I should save them. Even the European Emperor won't be able to handle this. I have 3 shining stones left. Who should I use them on? Yi Tianxin now had the Desolate Grade Amorous Hoop, and Ming Shirin had his Desolate Grade Separation Hook. Among his remaining disciples, Wuya was the most stable cultivator. Although Duanmu Shang was not as talented as the others, his redeeming virtue was his diligence. Zhou decided to only give him a Desolate Grade weapon when he was close to the 7 or 8 leaf stage. Zhao Yu's cultivation base had always been lagging behind. She might be busy governing the country. Moreover, she was far away in the divine capital. Little Yuan? Zhou made a decision. He called Wuya and Little Yuan over. The two of them seemed puzzled when they arrived at the Eastern Pavilion. They entered the room and saw their master sitting on the rush cushion. His eyes were closed as he rested his mind. His hands were placed on his lap. Greetings, master. The two of them kneeled. Zhou opened his eyes and said, leave your weapons here. Wuya and Little Yuan exchanged a look. Master, what are you going to do? Little Yuan asked. She was bolder than the others, after all. You'll find out tomorrow. Understood. Both of them left their weapons before leaving the Eastern Pavilion. Zhou did not hesitate to use 2 shining stones. The peacock plume burned in the fire and shone brilliantly. The Nirvana sash was clearly made of cloth, but it was not damaged from the burning flames. Everything went smoothly. Then, Zhou entered his meditative state. Early the next morning, Zhou heard 2 notifications. Ding. Obtained Desolate Grade Peacock Plume. Reward, 1,000 merit points. Ding. Obtained Desolate Grade Nirvana Sash. Reward, 1,000 merit points. Zhou returned the weapons to Wuya and Little Yuan. Then, he returned to his meditative state. 3 days passed in just a blink of an eye. After receiving the peacock plume, Wuya was filled with awe. He stroked his weapon as he muttered to himself, how does master raise the grade of our weapons? He knew his peacock plume as well as Yu Shangrong knew his longevity sword. Just by touching it, he knew the peacock plume had received a huge upgrade. Golden flames? Wuya recalled his master's 9-leaf avatar. In the cultivation world, apart from forging flames that had to meet high requirements, materials were also important. The greater the skill and cultivation base of the blacksmith, the better the weapon's quality would be. There was no other explanation. Wuya could only attribute this to the golden flames. When Wuya arrived at the Eastern Pavilion, he called out, Master, the sky chariot is ready. A voice rang from the room, I see. Tell Little Yuan and Conk to wait near the sky chariot. Understood.